Before we start, let me allow my members, the Speaker of the House, Honorable Tajuddin, read a letter from the President and Commander-in-Chief requesting the House to approve a supplementary statutory budget of FCT to the tune of 61 billion. The committee decided to invite you with your team to give us details and why these monies should be domiciled to the agencies and the agencies under you for utilization. Honourable Minister, you recall today the President presented the 2024 appropriation, but in our discussion with you, you requested that you need more money within the FCT. The last time, 100 billion was approved for supplementary, but I want to categorically tell honorable members here that this money is specifically for FCT. It's not an additional supplementary money. It is monies meant for them, monies from Paris Club, payee, and other monies that they want to utilize on important project within the FCT. So, Honorable Minister, please, you can go on with your request to the committee so that we can look at it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, Deputy Chairman, members of this committee, members of my delegation, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, let me apologize to this honorable committee for coming late. After the presentation of the 2024 budget, I thought that I will rush and see Mr. President off while he was, because of his traveling out of the country. So I thought I was going to make it earlier, but I'm very sorry for that. Let me commend you for inviting us today, which was very timely. Like you said, Mr. President transmitted this to you, and the Speaker read it in the plenary, and today we are here. That shows your commitment. That shows your willingness to see that we succeed. Mr. Chairman, this supplementary budget is based on the fact that as at the time the 2023 appropriation was done, we have not received our Paris Club fund. Luckily, we were able to receive our Paris Club at the tune of 25.7 billion naira. And then we are being owed by several federal agencies in terms of remittance of payee. So we struggled to make sure that those agencies, through the Office of the Accountant General, pay us our IP/payee, which other states have been paid for quite some time, and our efforts yielded, and the Accountant General remitted the sum of 28.5 billion. Again, there was special intervention which Mr. President, through the palliative fund, gave to states and FCT. And that fund is 5 billion naira. And we had also infrastructure support fund from the federal government, as was also given to other states before now. We got 7 billion naira. And then we have some IGR, which we never contemplated, which was an increase. And that gave us 9.4 billion. Now, we can't spend this money without coming back to the House to appropriate it. Of course, you know that when we came on board, virtually, all contractors left the site. And so we have to say that we will apply these funds to some of the projects. Particularly, we have a target. Mr. President has signed a memorandum of understanding between FCT and other MDAs. Deliverables, first quarter, second quarter. But how it is concerned is that there are some projects we are targeting that must be completed in the first quarter. And we had arrangements with the companies and that agreed that if funds are made available, they'll be able to complete these projects, which we used to mark 1 year in office of Mr. President. The last supplementary budget that Mr. President presented, which was the national budget, we are giving 100 billion to carry out national projects like the metro line and some other road projects. But this is our own statutory, which we have also attached projects to be used. You may be surprised if you look at column page 5, something that has never happened. If you look at the publicity and adverts, if you look at it, you see 60 million was appropriated. Some people will ask, how come 2.8 billion? Page 5.
In our own is page 2.
Okay, sorry. Okay, then let me take your own page 2. So you will ask, why 2.8 billion? You see, you use money to make money. When I came on board, you realize that most people don't pay their ground rent. And I came on board, I said, if you don't pay, we will revoke. We did a lot of advertisements, if you read newspapers. If maybe you are opportune to have the newspapers, we use about 7, 8 national newspapers to publish names of those who have not paid their rent. And because the cost, this 60 million naira cannot take care of the advertisement. In fact, as of now, I think we are owing almost 1.something billion from the advertisement. But this has helped us to make more money. You spend money to make money. You find out that in a national newspaper, we take over 20 pages of adverts on names those who have defaulted in paying. Next week, if you read newspapers yesterday, we have advertised for those who are applying or who want to apply for CFO in mass housing, those who are living in estates, who now want to have their CFO. We see that we have advertised. Now we've gotten a presidential approval to recertify CFOs, where every individual who has a CFO must have his national identity number in that CFO. So it means that all CFOs will be recertified, and then you put your NIN number for purpose of security and control. You see, in FCT, you have a lot of fake CFOs going around. But with your CFO having a NIN number, it tells us who owns this building is Mr. Chairman, for example. Who owns this building is Mr. Deputy Chairman. And then it will be easier for us to collect our taxes. You know, people run away from taxes. I've been getting all abuses. Why have you come now to start this? Nobody has done this. But I said somebody will do it one day. If nobody has done it yesterday, it does not mean somebody will not do it today, or somebody will not do it tomorrow. So somebody has to do it. I'm lucky that I'm the one doing it. So this thing costs us money for advert. You must also say legal services, like 1.7. Before it was 7.4. I have never seen a territory that has over 800 litigations. 800 litigations. And you ask yourself, why? Some of these litigations are in connivance with staff of the FCT. Judgments against us left, right, and center. And I said, okay, we must do it properly now. I'm going to engage external solicitors, senior advocates who will now be defending FCT properly, so that I don't want a situation where somebody will go to court and agree in connivance with the plaintiff and concede, and judgment will be entered. So it will be very difficult now, very difficult for anybody to carry out that kind of transaction. So that's why you see 1.7 billion. Now let me say this clearly again. I'm just picking them one by one. So these are things that may attract you to say, why am I going to spend 1.7 billion? Why am I going to spend 2.8 in advertisement? So this thing we are doing now, we'll start advertisement say by next week. And it will take us at least 2 months. Advert. Come and recertify your CFO. So if you have CFO and it's not recertified, then that CFO is no longer going to be valid in terms of having any commercial transaction or saying that you still have the property. No. So this is what we're trying to do. And all this is geared by next year to boost our IGR. Because if you look at national budget of 2024, it's 17 billion that they gave to us. 2024 national budget, 17 billion. So if we depend on that 17 billion, then all the projects will be abandoned. Ordinarily, we shouldn't use our statutory budget for national projects. But again, well, we have no choice. We have to. We have to. Now, like what we're doing now, VP's residence that was awarded in 2010. In 2010, at the cost of 7 billion, was abandoned. And it's embarrassing that a country of this cannot, in 13 years, complete the VP's residence. 7 billion. And now the contractor is saying, well, we cannot continue to do with that price. They have to come back now 15 billion. So we have taken it upon ourselves to say, okay, we will complete that VP's residence, and the president will commission it in May. It's 1 year in office. So this is how we have been targeting some projects. If you look at B6 and B12, B6 will be commissioned next year as one of the projects that President Commission is 1 year in office. But if this money is not paid now, we will not achieve it. And that's why we have come to say, look, we have this money, we can't spend it, but we want to spend it. And the only way we can spend it if it has been appropriated. And of course, other things that I believe that if you give expeditious approval of this supplementary budget, what you will see from next year will be something different. Now look at page 2, resurfacing of existing roads By January, February, March, every road in Abuja would have been resurfaced. Maitama, Gariki, Asokoro, name it. We'll say, I don't know. I'm saying the one that we were going to carry out before March, it will have been completed. And so that Abuja will have a new look and be like what the city is supposed to be. And I believe that you will be proud as members of the FCT that yes, Abuja has come back to what it's supposed to be. If you look at number 3 from your list, you will see okay. If you look at number 2, completion of road D6 by Julius Berger, that will be completed before May. If you look at the next one, which is done by Gilmore, that will be completed before May. If the third one is done by Setraco, that will be completed before May. Then you take the one CGC. If you are coming to the villa, you see a flyover there, that will also be completed before May. I can assure you that if we spend this money and send it to the contractors, it will be random commissioning of projects in FCT. Of course, we talk about the construction of Cultural Center Millennium Towers. This project was awarded during Obasanjo's administration, around 2001, 2002. It is a project that ought to change the landscape of Abuja. The parking space, the basement alone takes over 2,000 vehicles to be parked. But that project was just abandoned. Now, what I have done as I came, I went on an inspection, and I said, look, why do we have to waste our funds? If we know we don't have money, why do we have to award a contract? So we called the contractors, and I said, look, how many years can you finish this project? And they gave us, if they see the funds, that they will finish this project in 2 years' time. I said, okay. General Counsel, let me correct the introduction you made. It does not combine. It's General Counsel who has the legal secretary. So don't call yourself mandate secretary. You are General Counsel like attorney, like just so that you get the right description. It's the Attorney General of FCT. So don't call yourself mandate secretary. Now, I told the General Counsel, okay, prepare a memorandum of understanding. Let them sign with us that they complete the project in 2 years. Project was 61 billion, and they were paid about 40-something billion, and they abandoned the project. Now they went back for review, and the review got to 70-something billion. So if you add 70-something billion to 20-something billion, you're almost 97 to 100 billion. I said, fine. It's a project that will also showcase what Mr. President has done in Abuja. I said, okay, what we'll do, we are going to attach our IGR in paying the contractor for this project, so that I won't have any need to come to every time variation. No. Every month, through our IGR, we'll commit social amount of money to you. So you first your work, at the end of the month, money drops. And then we are sure in 2 years' time, the Millennium Center has been completed. So if you look at what we provided there, is to start with them with a sum of 9 billion naira. Then January, we continue paying 3 billion every month, 3 billion every month. For me, this is the way we can complete projects. We will not award contracts just for awarding sake. We'll award contract because there's fund for that. Not for the sake of satisfying people. No. No. If we don't have money, forget it. If we have money, yes. So there are sometimes the money will come, which is we did not appropriate it. We'll come back to you. We want to spend this money. Help us, because this money we want to use it for so project. So I believe that with your support, nobody will complain again that nothing is happening. Of course, look at the bus. We are trying to launch our mass transit. So part of these problems of one chance will end. We are bringing in vehicles which will be like Abuja. So you're taking a risk to go and take another taxi when you have seen one for security purposes. You know the driver, you know the taxi or the bus. So that would they all these people who you don't know, they are not registered, but they are applying on the road, and that's why sometimes criminals, you don't know who is who, and you cannot identify. So we are bringing in our mass transit back. It is very, very important. Go and see our buses are just later they are wasting. We are bringing all back, and we are launching it by the grace of God this December. Before people travel, we have already made that arrangement that we have to launch our mass transit, which will be a workable one, so that our people will reduce this problem of transportation and the insecurity that has always occurred. My dear Chairman and Deputy, let me not take your time, and of course look at the rehabilitation of the National Christian Center and rehabilitation of the National Mosque. You remember under Obasanjo, the mosque and the ecumenical center was taken as national asset. Therefore, it is the FCT that maintains the mosque and the ecumenical center, and we also give them grants every year for them to use to, do one or two things. So when we went there, the mosque, the management of the mosque told us the contract had been awarded before I came, but they needed additional things to be done, and it was not budgeted for. And so we have to bring it here to seek approval before we spend that amount. We went to the ecumenical center, and they also said they needed additional work, and that is why you see them there. We believe that yes, while we are doing governance, people are also busy praying for us. So governance without prayer do not work. So the only way is that while we say, please, you must stay in a good atmosphere to pray. You can't stay in a roofing house in a leaking house to pray. So to also take care of that aspect. So God will also help us to do our work very, very well. Those of us who don't believe in God, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So, Mr. Chairman, we pray that, just like you invited us, if this would be approved, I can assure you that this project will be completed on time. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, landlord, the FCT minister. Thank you, honorable colleagues. Honorable colleagues, you've had the presentation of the honorable minister of FCT with the amendment of 2023 statutory of FCT. The floor now is open for honorable colleagues if there's any question for the honorable minister.
That I'm seeing on paper, but at the same time, there is an area of concern to me. I've taken time to listen to all you've said, but I found out that not much is said about the rural communities that we have in the Federal Capital Territory. And these rural communities house even more people than the city. And if we are talking about decongesting the city, we cannot do it without developing the satellite towns and our rural communities. There are some roads I can mention now. Igushere-Kawu Road is an important road that the FCT started some time ago, but is abandoned. And such roads were not mentioned. Most of our satellite town communities we have here, if you go down to the roads, is nothing to talk about. If you go down to Kubwa, Kubwa is completely dilapidated, the roads there. And this is a huge satellite town that accommodates a lot of people. It's a thing of concern. And again, most of the hospitals we have today in Abuja were built by the military government. The subsequent civilian administration has not done much since the inception of this present dispensation. So I was waiting to hear what you want to do also about our hospitals. Because today in Abuja, I know that sometimes when people get to the hospital, you see them discharged, even when pregnant women that deliver, that their conditions are not yet stable, were discharged because there's no available beds to accommodate them. These are serious concerns to me. So this is one area that I'm looking at. And our schools. Mr. Minister, in Abuja here, children are studying on a bare floor. In FCT, a state governed by the President of the Federal Republic. Children are studying on the bare floor. No roofs in some of our primary schools. So these are some of the issues that I'm waiting also to see. And just like you said, if... Sorry. No, I know it's...
We know what you've done in River State, what you did there. There's no doubt you shall replicate same in Abuja as the Minister of FCT. Honorable Minister, please, you know, we understand the level of unemployment today in Nigeria. And most of people who are cab riders today in Abuja, I heard when you talk about bringing many buses into Abuja for the ease of transportation in FCT. Please, as you are doing that, I suggest you accommodate those people who are already into that business, into PPP, so they can bring their buses and be integrated into your own program, so they will not be out of the job. Please, thank you.
Minister, my question, Honourable Minister, is on the recertification of CFOs. Much as we appreciate the revenue drive of the FCT, within us, how do you defend the suspicion of people that it is exploitative? More so that people are left with no choice. You know, that is either you recertify at a cost or you lose your CFO. Now, that is one question. The next one is on the design and construction of vice president's residence. Now, I would like you to throw more light on this. Are we building a new residence for the vice president, or we are renovating the existing one? More so that since 1999 to date, we've had, 4 vice presidents, and they were accommodated. And the other one, sir, is on construction of cultural center and Millennium Towers. From your explanation, that this initial provision of 9 billion is just part of the part payment, that you are going to enter into an arrangement with the contractor to be paid from your IGR for the next 2 years, to ensure the completion of this. Does this not amount to anticipatory approval? You are already committing funds that has not been appropriated, because it's revenue that you anticipate, to earn in the coming years. So those are my questions. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister, my name is Aliyu Bapa Misau. I am from Bauchi State, and let me give a background. I am married to an Igbo woman, Christiana, from Orifite in Anambra State. Why I said this? Because the issue I'm going to talk, probably some people will look at it as biased. As I said, if you look at item that is under public building, FCT, it was appropriated in 2023 for the rehabilitation of the National Christian Center, 159,973,265.
So what page?
The last page, sir.
The last page, 4.
Then the rehabilitation of the National Mosque was budgeted 161,208,092. And now the augmentation proposal of 960 million. The revised appropriation is now 1,119,973,265. That is for the Christian Center Abuja. And for the rehabilitation of the National Mosque stood at 311,208,029. As an accountant and looking at the past proposals of the budget appropriation in 2023, the percentage rose by almost 3 times. But the difference, I want to know what put that high, huge difference. Thank you.
Lessons, because government is continuing. You've spoken about a lot of abandoned projects that you're taking up. Now, I wanted to ask, have you looked into waste recycling? As a capital city, we expect that the FCT should be recycling waste. That is 1. 2, the rail system is not being mentioned in here. What is the situation with the rail system for FCT? Thank you very much.
Telling these proposals, I'm not saying anything about security. It's not stated here. 2, thank you for all your interventions, but there's an eyesore, the natural library is an eyesore in Abuja City here. I would prefer that rather than intervening in cultural center, can you shift that money to the national library? Thank you.
Yes. This is a very hard time that we're in now. Demolishing homes and not providing any way out where you have people move into. You just demolish the house. Now, Mr. Minister, what do you expect these people to do? Quite a lot of them are people who can't afford 3 square meal, and most of them are widows, and I am the voice of the widows and the voiceless. So please, I want to know what you plan to do for these people that will demolish their houses. Money is not paid to them. They have nowhere to go. Thank you.
From Enugu. Minister, I noticed that here we have maintenance of street lights for 1.7 and augmenting for another 1 billion, making 2.7 billion. I want to urge you and ask that we increase this budget. Please, I'll share an experience with you. I just came out from Kigali on a retreat. Kigali is the capital of Rwanda. And in that country, throughout our stay there, all their street lights work. I think we should move to renewable energy, move to solar street lights. Even if you are going to enter into a public-private partnership with a good company in Nigeria here to provide street lights all over Abuja, it will also help with security. Because once we have street lights working everywhere in Abuja, this one chance will give space, and the criminals will give space. So, Honorable Minister, please, I urge you in 2024 budget to increase your budget for street lights. And like what you have done with the Millennium Tower, that you have entered into a strategic partnership where you do monthly payments. You can also do that with the street lights to make sure that the entire Abuja is illuminated. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Well, that's good.
Appreciation to the Honorable Minister concerning the subdivision of housing estate to get their own private C of O. I'm one of the first or few lawyers who applied for subdivision for the past 16 years in FCT. I remember I paid 56 million for a housing estate around 2011, but up to this hour, there's nothing on ground. So with this policy, Mr. Honorable Minister, we really appreciate and we commend you for that. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, with due respect, sir, you know Abuja is where we have high-profile individuals that resides here. And of course, this is the seat of power. I'm talking about security. I know that previous government, they were able to set up high-profile CCTV cameras in all the nooks and crannies of FCT. And some of those cameras are not working to secure Abuja. What are you doing, or what arrangement have you put in place to make sure that such arrangement is put in order to enable Abuja to be fully and properly secured? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of this committee. Let me start with the last question about security CCTV. Let me put on record that contract was not backed up by FCT. That was done by police. However, we are working with the National Security Advisor and the SSS to see how we can come up with a better strategy in putting CCTV. But in doing that, we must also look at the cost. Yes, we want security, but if you don't have money, what do you do? So we'll look at the costs. If it's something we can carry, even in the next 3 years, we'll be able to do that. So it's already in our plan. And I believe that the technical committee, the National Security Advisor, and the DSSS and others were set up. We believe they are going to come back, and that's where we can incorporate it in the 2024 budget. That is as regards to CCTV. Let me also thank the person who have appreciated us and let you that we will sign CO for such division. When I was governor, it's on record from 2007, from 2015 to 2019, I signed not less than 20,000 COs. It's on record. So I believe by the grace of God, we still can do more. By the grace of God, we still can do more. On the issue of street lights, he said we should increase the budget. It's not increasing the budget. If the money is available, who would increase? It's not increasing. If we put 10 billion and the money is not there, it doesn't make any sense. Who would not love to put street light everywhere? Everybody would love that. But even putting the solar light, it's not just the problem. People have now done to steal the street light itself. It's so terrible. You know, you spend money to provide light, to provide beauty, provide security. People are somewhere planning how to make sure it does not. I mean, and when you look at these things, you feel pain. You feel pain.
And if you want to go and prosecute, before you know it, you've let off the hook. Because even if you jail them, what's the fine? 10,000 naira. They'll come back the same day. So we are working to provide street light in all areas, but know that this is the setback. It's like we are doing road now. Look at the manholes. It's so terrible. You are sleeping in the night, somebody wakes in the odd hour to go and steal the manhole. And you chase them for security doing their best. They charge them to court. It's available. So we'll come out and meet with you and see what we can do. Let there be punitive measures. So that is on that. Demolition. We can't stop demolition. And see, demolition, you can't go and build an illegal place. Say for example, here is marked out to be a green area. Then on your own you go and build. Then you want us to come and compensate you that we are demolishing. Illegality is illegality. But if we are building and we want to acquire your property, we pay. Take for example now, we are going to reconstruct old Garki. Compensation has been paid since. The only thing remaining is the chief's palace, which we have paid, which I have approved 2 days ago. So I'm going to put it in the 2024 budget for the reconstruction of old but compensation. So it's not where you see all demolishing and people are crying. We're paid. We're paid. If you check the second runway, we are violent and resettle the people. We pay. And they're still there. And people, when you push them, so they start crying. We have nowhere to go. But you took the money. So the issue of economic hardship does not apply here. It does not apply. I mean, you see how this place is being designed, right? And somebody somewhere comes and go to one of the field there to erect a structure. And then, if the National Assembly management now wants to take a decision, bring it down. Then you give to a poor woman, this is where she stays to manage herself. What's her business there? Because of economic hardship, we should not obey the law. So these are things we don't need to begin to pity sympathy. No, if we do sympathy, we won't go anywhere. We must be firm and take a decision. It's not every decision you take, everybody will be happy. But what's important is it going to help for the development of our city? That's what is important. So, I'm sorry if anybody is there. Security, yes, why we didn't put there? It's provided in the national budget. If you see the national budget, which would have been supplementary budget, you see security was taken care. So we don't need to bring it again in the supplementary budget. But again, it will come up in 2024 budget. That's I'm not doing it without security. The National Library, I sympathize this country. I was the minister of education. There is nothing we did not speak, no crime. So how can you tell me a country like this cannot have a standard national library? A library that means since how many years? We cannot be completed. It's an embarrassment. You don't also say that you prefer it to culture. No, culture is important. It's very, very important. But I don't see why we cannot finish that national life. So it is not under FCT. It's not under FCT. I think it's of education. So I don't want to encroach another person's territory.
Giving the area.
So since it's not there, it's not there. It's not there. So security of taking care of it. About rail, Mr. President will commission the metro line by May. If you look at the national budget, for this supplementary budget, it's also provided for it. So we don't need to provide for it in the supplementary, statutory supplementary budget. And you also see that we are also doing access roads from communities to link up those rail stations. As I speak to you now, the works are ongoing in various access roads. I will come to you about the rural communities. And waste recycle is important. It's also capital intensive. We set up a committee to look at it and come up with what we can do if it's affordable. Or we can partner with investors, private, we'll do it PPP. But you know that most Nigerians don't like this PPP. The only thing we see here is that we got land. And PPP is against FCT. Every PPP you see that we got land, all against the government. And which I will cancel them. And we take for example, government is doing road. We have land in Wasa. Government is doing the infrastructure, 85 billion. Then they will enter into an agreement with the developer to build and sell. No one is coming to us. Land is our own. 85 billion is our own. Then the developer enters to build and sell to other people. So I've lost. I cancelled it. I said, don't worry, we will build the infrastructure. We'll build, and then we can sell and make more money. You go and build, they will say to you, how can I build 500 hectares of land? Then spending 85 billion for infrastructure. Then one bloody developer will come and they enter the agreement. I said, no, that agreement does not work where I am. It will work. That's no need. They will come and meet you to talk to me. Please don't come. What is wrong is wrong. What's wrong is wrong. These are the kind of things we cannot accept. About budget on national mosque, I have told you here before that these are two additional works they require. We went there. This is the secretary of FCT. So I said, okay, go and meet him. Let him show you the additional works. The one that was shown to him in the work, I said, contract I wanted before, paid. Now this is additional work. And this is what they gave you. It's okay. Since it was not in the original budget, this additional work, it was not in the original budget. You have given that contract to Bentia. Then let us, okay, we want you to add doors, for example. It becomes additional work. So you have to appropriate for it. That's why you see the difference. It's based on the work that has been given to the ESFCB. On the issue of design and construction of CFO, where it's a very distortion. Distortion against who? Extortion against who? If we are providing for security to prevent fraud, it should even be jumping that they have provided a measure that will checkmate frauds. They provide a measure that will improve our security. And also from there we benefit from it. Collect tax. And do some of the projects you want me to do. Where would I get the money? There's no 30% in Abuja. The only oil here is land. You will get the CFO to do business. So I don't think there's anything about the extortion. There's no extortion. How much is it? Individuals go and pay 50,000 naira. Corporate body pay 100,000. What's the extortion? To get things done very well. There's no extortion. I'm looking for improving security. I'm looking for improving my IGL, and then that will improve
infrastructure in FCT. Millennium, I didn't say that we are spending money. No, I said this 9 billion we are paying. It was not provided in the 2023. That's why I've come here. Give me the approval so that I can spend 9 billion. It is not anticipatory approval. The one I'm talking about we will do is 2024 budget. We will bring 2024 budget to you here. This is the money we want to spend. We will spend, for example, 30 billion. For example now. Now, in that 30 billion, if you give approval, it's now for us to work out how do we spend this 30 billion. It's okay. We will not get the money to do the work immediately. Attach it to our IGR. Go to a bank. That's why we're out of the single treasury account. Go to a bank. We need certain amount of money. Take our IGR. Attach for the payment of those loans. How much will you pay every month to the bank? Bank will give you 2 billion naira. Bank give us 30 billion, for example. We already have 30 billion. But bank is collecting 2 billion naira from our IGR to ISP. Then you use the money and do the project, which we will come here. So there's nothing like anticipatory approval. Our money saying these are our strategies, what we intend to do in completing most of these projects. So I know I'm being from executive. I don't like anticipatory approval. I'm scared of it. Construction of VP. You know, the VP residence was built by the military. The Abuja house. So the government then said, look, it would be proper to build a more befitting residence for the VP. And that was in 2010 when this contract was awarded for the cost of 7 billion naira. And no money was. It's just like what they are building for the principal officers, deciding officers. The Senate President, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Deputy Senator. You can see there, it has been abandoned because no funding. No funding. It's abandoned. But we will believe that next year we are going to incorporate it in our own statutory budget. Let us finish it, even if they don't want to use it. You can turn it to a different thing, other than abandoned project. So that is what is on ground, not that we are not innovating. It's a new job approved by Federal Council in 2010. But we think that we should be able to finish it. And we are going to finish it. And will be commissioned in May 2029. Then you talk about PPP on mass transit. Let me just, of course, there's not a number of buses and taxis you can buy that will be enough. This is what government can provide. Some people are planning to have PPP with the FCT. So we encourage it. We encourage it because that will also help. But then we will know who are the drivers of those because they have to be what do you call it, a security profile. Well, you cannot bring any driver that has not been profile. The driver must be profile. The number of cars must. The number, so these are the things. So we just say you are bringing vehicles and we allow you. No, we won't do that. We do it properly. So that for security reasons too, we don't go into one chance. Road in Apache, you know this country is a very funny country. Now we came. Now we are doing roads. Everybody now wants every road to be. No. But it's not possible. Even if you keep me here for a number, I can't finish all the. If I finish, so there will not be another minister. We should also go outside, and that's what we started doing. So if we do this 30 kilometers, and we are paying the contractors immediately, it's provided in the national budget. And we then give them only 6 months. Each contractor must finish, 8 months. Each contractor must finish at the 5 level. We will have a dry season now, so we have to utilize the dry season. Having paid them the mobilization, for example, then we attach it to our revenue. Having paid the mobilization, then other payments will be done through ISP. And that is a simple magic. It's what people think in River State. That's the only simple magic. Because if you don't do that, a lot of projects will be abandoned. And contractors are happy, they have the confidence. Now we know that they will pay every month a lot. They are not writing to me to approve, no more bureaucracy on that. And they're working. There's not like creating confidence between the client and the contractor. Even if you are not giving them money, they come to me and say, Minister, we know you will pay. You are going to site. That confidence alone is key. And that is what we are doing. And we want to urge that it should help us to see that. But the 100 billion has not been released. Mr. Chairman, the 100 billion has not been released. So that's why you hear 100 billion. You think that money has been but we believe it will be released. That will be released. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister of FCT.